Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Kalandra League 3.19. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you guys my SRS Pop League Starter build guide, full official, everything, the POB, all the guide. I hope you guys enjoy it. So I think it would be really important to explain why Summon Raging Spirit. Okay, so every minion was basically nerfed, and then Summon Raging Spirit got some buffs, so it gets better added damage, so you could add damage through added cold, added lightning, damage support, other sources of added damage, like Ghastly Jewels got buffed by 50%, so this will get 15% extra from that. It won't get less. And then they also gave it 38% more damage at level 20, and it also has 20% more life at all levels. And then they buffed the heist, the Helm enchant from Lab as well. And then this is with nerfs to all minions, and then buffs to the items, so maybe we can get more minion life for the pop. And then there was also Ignite on minions. They said that they took away the hidden penalties to bleeding, ignite, and poison, so minions do 3.5 times the damage with ignite. And so I figured if you make minion instability ignite through combustion, because it can't, well, or you give it crit chance and it crits, then it's doing a lot of damage with the ignite, and this could be really good. And this build without the buffs has already been feeling really good, so with the buffs it's going to be even better, and it's coming out really on top out of the new expansion. So then if you want gameplay of this build, I have leveled up a bunch of characters, and on my YouTube I actually did a leveling guide for Acts 1 to 5 and 6 to 10 with the build, going through and playing it myself and showing it. I did it on stream a few times too. We've run this a few times, and this is without the buff, so it should be even better, and this looks really promising. For the bandits, I recommend killing all. You could help Alira for the Ellie res and the mana regen, but I don't. Just kill all, get 2 extra passive skill points. And then for the major gods in the beginning, you can use Brine King for the stun immunity. And you could also spec it into the Cannot Be Frozen. And then you can also use physical damage reduction for gruthkul. And later you could switch this to the Lunaris for the physical damage reduction. And then you can actually switch this into Solaris once you get Vision of Justice. The third one, for the you take no extra damage from crit strikes if you've taken a crit strike recently. This could be huge for, like, if you keep getting crit, then you're actually crit immune. It's amazing. As long as the one crit doesn't one-shot you. These are my Pantheons. And then Gruthkul is good Fizz damage reduction. You can also use Yugul for the Fizz Reflect for you and your minions. You could do Burning Ground with Aberrath, the Less Ignite, the Shank with the Garukan. There's also Relikesh for Bleeding and Corrupted Blood. There's Rizlata for the Life Flask. And then there's also Shakari for Poison and Chaos. All of these are really strong, and you kind of just switch them depending on what you need. But we always need Fizz damage reduction, so Gruthkul is really good. And the Bleed one's really good, but you have at least Bone Armor for Bleed. I wanted to go over Necromancer. I picked this. And Witch, let's start off with Witch first. Why Witch as my league starter? Because we get 5 minion life, minion damage. We get more minion life and damage. We get extra zombie, extra skelly off the start is really insane. And then we get the extra minion stuff here. We can get the minion leech, and we're already good to go. And it's such a nice start, and you just get all this minion stuff right away. Like, the first 12 points is really good for Witch. Some classes you won't have any minion points, minion related stuff in the first few points. It's kind of crazy. Next, your Necromancer. So why, well, first we go Commander of Darkness. First you start Mindless Aggression, Bone Barrier, Commander of Darkness, and then Plaguebringer. You could go Commander of Darkness earlier for the res to make it easier during the leveling, but I like the Bone Barrier, Mindless Aggression, especially with the minion survivability nerf, because they just nerfed the base gems. You need this even more. And then that's one of the main reasons for Necromancer is minions have 20% more life. They technically get overcapped LE res when they're nearby to you, which is 80 radius, which isn't tiny, but it's also not big enough for, like, consistent all the time. But for normal minions, it's fine, as long as it's not the Animate Guardian you're relying on this. And then Plaguebringer is actually a pretty big radius, and it also gives damage 10% more, and the extra AoE. And this, as long as you put a corpse down on a boss, you're good to go. And usually when you put a corpse and consume with the offering, you'll have, like, an extra corpse, especially once you get the alt quality Desecrate. because it'll make extra corpses, or have a chance to make extra corpses. So let me desecrate. I think it's divergent, chance to spawn additional corpse, and you can give this extra quality, so it has 150% chance, so it's guaranteed extra corpse. And then why not the other ascendancies is because we're summon Raging Spirit doesn't really make sense as an Elementalist, because you're going golems and golem buff effect, and it's golem scaling, and you could transition into a golem build, but then I just, you'd have to run one of those two, and then what's your third ascendancy and what's your fourth ascendancy, and it gets really awkward, and there's no minion survivability. And then, like, if you ran carry-on golem, you want to run zombies, and if you run this is a later build, and then you could run other ascendancies, but like occultist, but then you're chaos, and we don't really have the poison chance early. We don't know about the ghastly jewels yet, how rare it is, how rare the mod is. And then there's no minion survivability in guardian. There's damage, onslaught, AoE, move speed, intimidate, and then the tiny bit of block if you block, or if you use attack, or if you've cast a spell recently, and then you could get the stun immunity for you and your minions, but it's no minion survivability. You could stop the enemy from gaining charges, but it's really not. And then Scion, so all of the other options are okay later, but I would start with Necromancer for the minion survivability, and we go with our tree for the minion survivability, and we have to get bone rings for the minion LE res because we lost on the tree, and yeah, that's why Necromancer. Alright, I wanted to go through the gems. Level 1, you get Zombie and Purifying Flame. Level 4, SRS, link it with the Phantasm. You get the Phantasm from the quest. Frostblink, Steel Skin. You'll need the Heavy Belt to be able to wield, to level up the Steel Skin and to get Vitality at level 10. So you'll be able to buy a Heavy Belt at level 10 after you do Brutus, and you can buy Vitality. There's a Heavy Belt in the shop. Level 8, you get Summon Raging Spirit, Infernal, Legion Combustion, and this is leading into your level 11 or level 12 Power Spike thing, where you get the minion instability. And this is really, really strong early for the clear. Zombie, Phantasm. Level 10, you're getting that Vitality. Flame Dash. Level 12, Flesh Offering. Level 16, Desecrate. And you can get Skitterbots, Unbound Ailments. You have to go back to Act 1 for Unbound Ailments, Act 2 for Skitterbots. Zombie, Phantasm, Minion Speed, level 18. Minion Speed, really cool. Flammability, 24. You get it from the quest. Spectre from the quest. And then you could raise the Spectre from Gravicus area. The Blackguard firemage to automate flammability, so you don't have to cast it, which is really cool. Minion speed, Culling Strike. You can already get Culling Strike in your build. Flame Golem at 34. 38, Summon Raging Spirit. You get Unleash, so it's the same 3 link, but you add Unleash to it. In Act 6, you can get Determination, but you can't use this until like Act 7 or Act 8. And then you could 4-link the Flame Golem, Spectre, Elemental Army, Culling Strike. You could 4-link Zombie, Phantasm, Feeding Frenzy, Added Fire, Defiance Banner. And then I show the main links. I'll go over those after. Okay, I wanted to show the build playstyle to get you started. This is 73. I rolled it rare. It's 83 quant. I don't have a tree just because, you know, and whatever. T6. I'm on 4 links. I have shit gear. And we're gonna just go show off. Oh yeah, the SRS. This is my F. It's only level 16, so this is my SSF. So I can't like buy anything. But yeah, the thing, you just press it, you burn everything. It's really insane. The damage is crazy. It's actually killing this shit. Look, I pressed it once. I'm 65, the map is 73, so I'm 8 levels under, and I don't even have my 4th Ascendancy, right? I'm just thing, and then you could just press SRS, and then we'll just show the boss damage. Flammability. For 8 levels below, this isn't that bad. Get all those SRS on it. And that's insane, dude. Like, I'm actually a billion levels below this thing. Easy. So that's the playstyle. It looks pretty good. Works pretty well. And I can't wait to actually scale this thing up with actual items and actual gear. And oh my god, I don't even have the minion damage. Nice, dude. Oh, I wanted to show one more thing. The speed on this shield charge is insane. And that's just spiritual command. the attack speed nodes and faster attacks. You could take faster attacks out and it's still really fast, honestly, because this is normal walking. You're zooming. It's 109 move speed. It's really good. And then the faster attacks makes it a little zippier. This is really good. And we get like 3 attacks per second or something. 0.27 attack time. Look at that. Insane. Shield charge is really good with the new shield. Time to show off the skill tree. So you come up here, grab the Lord of the Dead, and then you go towards minion instability. So your first 8 points is the 8-point power spike. You get the 9 point. This is your 11 point. This is level 12, so this is level 30 with normal lab. First lab, mindless aggression. Like I said, you could go Commander of Darkness if you just wanted to make the res easier for yourself, but personally I'd recommend mindless aggression. And then we grab the Indom army with the leech, and then we get enduring bond, and we grabbed accuracy. We grab this life node and grabbed vitality, and we grow into the sacrifice spiritual command at 30. Okay, next, 55, you're getting Grave Pact and increased effective offering. You get the rest of the regen. You get Death Attunement and increased AoE. You get Bone Barrier and the minion survivability. You get the rest of the minion survivability. You start getting the reservation. Once you get this second point of reservation, you can run determination, so like 56. And then level 70, you're going in, get grabbing life. The AoE node, because you don't have the reservation anymore. Fearsome Force node for some crit, multi, and crit chance. And we could even be using the new Spirit Offering instead of Flesh Offering. And then you start coming up here towards Ravenous Horde. And we get Commander of Darkness before you kill Kitava, so you have the reses already. And then you grab the rest of Ravenous Horde, so they start to move fast. You get your Eldritch Battery, so you don't have to worry about your mana anymore. You can reserve it all, and then you get the extra reservation, the Aura effect. And then your Uber Lab, Plaguebringer. And then Endgame just fills it out. Extra jewel sockets. I'll go over the jewels. So these jewels are pretty cool. You could get Minion Res and Minion Accuracy on a Cobalt jewel. And it might not be that hard to just get those two. Especially you could use Bound Fossils for this. And maybe some new Minion Harvest crafts. And yeah, you could get Life as well. This is to show you an option to get the Minion Res instead of using the new Bone Rings, because maybe the Bone Ring sucks. I don't know. Maybe we'll want to do one of those other base types of the rings, and Bone Ring will actually suck, and we'll just do other sources of this minion survivability, and it's weird. That would be weird. Then we have Taunt Blind on a Ghastly Jewel. This is double suffix. It's actually kind of hard to get both T1, but this is pretty good, and gives you a lot of survivability for when things aren't... Well, it's not great for the SRS, but it's better for like the zombies and stuff, and it's for when you have something tanky that you're not killing fast enough, then you can taunt them and distract them, and blind them is actually offensive. Blinding is lowering the enemy evasion, so it actually makes your stuff more accurate. I can show you that. So you have, let's say, your low level SRS, the attack has 58% accuracy. You can actually blind the enemy, and now it has 64% accuracy, so it affects the enemy's evasion and not just their accuracy. You don't need these jewels, but it's just showing alternatives. It's showing options, because we might... Well, right now we don't know about the rings until we know these bone rings. Like, I named these bone rings and I show Minion Res, but like, we don't know. So I showed Cobalt jewels that you could get this, and then the Minion Accuracy is also nice. And then the Taunt Blind is just showing that this is a source. It doesn't add any damage, so you don't need it. It's just nice when you've played with Blind and Taunt. It feels really good. I recommend it. It can be kind of hard to get this. So the way you would craft this is using attack reforges in Harvest, and it's really easy. Harvest makes this way easier, because otherwise you have to use fossils. Alright, now I want to go through the main links of the skill gems. So we have the Summon Raging Spirit, and I show this in the boot, and you could run this as a 6-link in the chestplate instead if you wanted. I probably won't be scaling this up. I'll just be using it to get me 2 maps, and then switching into a more standard build, more permanent. But this will be a great start. And Summon Raging Spirit, Combustion, Infernal Legion, Unleash, and then you can add Minion Life and Concentrate Effect to increase the life, to get the Minion instability to be bigger, so you get bigger explosions, so you get bigger ignites, and you win. Flame Golem, Spectre, Elemental Army, Killing Strike, so the LE army will expose the fire. Really good. Zombie, you can run Feeding Frenzy, Multi-Strike, added fire, so I took out the the Phantasm, because of, I think, its own survivability, and then keeping him up. And then I put potentially minion damage and melee physical damage. I also thought of, honestly, the real thing I would put in here is Val Summon Skeleton instead of the minion damage, potentially. You could show this one. So you 5-link this zombie Skelly, and then you could have, instead of minion damage, or instead of Feeding Frenzy, you could put the Feeding Frenzy on the other one. But the main point here is having Val Skelly in the build, and these would be pretty good links for this fire setup that we've done. And we could even use some, like, actual map Spectres too, that isn't just, like, the Goat and the Blackguard Firemage. And yeah, okay, so then I show that you could 6-link it. You could just keep it as a 4-link, but I put in the body armor, and then you could like click on them and see the deeps difference. And then this was only 1 Raging Spirit because of how the minion ability explosions and the ignite, and it's kind of weird. Have Vitality, Shield Charge, Defiance Banner, so I didn't put faster attacks as I didn't have room, because technically we'd be dropping some Enraging Spirit and scaling this into a normal build. And then you'd have extra links, and you wouldn't have to keep casting the Summon Enraging Spirit, and you could just be zooming through the map with Shield Charge, and it feels really good once you're getting into normal minions, probably. And then Flame Dash, Skitterbots, Unbound Ailments, Flammability. You can automate the Curse Elemental Weakness through your Animate Guardian after. We don't have an Animate Guardian in the League Starter because of minion survivability, and we need to see the new items too. Determination, Desecrate Flesh Offering, and then the bone armor you get from your Ascendancy Bone Barrier. And you still get all of these buffs without clicking the bone armor. The bone armor is actually just like a steel skin, but it's for free, and it's level 20 already, and it removes bleed, yeah, or makes you bleed immune. Really cool. The items I put in here were just simple minion damage, 20 wand. I'm pretty sure we're going to have something like that. No stats on the shield. Didn't even do the minion damage bone spirit shield. I did spell damage. There's literally no damage. It's just reses and life and showing you res cap and then having some basic life. And this was showing you bone rings to have the minion elemental res. Super simple. Just showing you strength and the dex. And then obviously you'd have to get a bit more dex for this endgame setup. And that's it. Easy. Let's go through the flasks. We got the Divine Life Flask with the half instant recover with bleed immune. I highly recommend this. Your other source of bleed immune is your bone armor. Highly recommend using that too. You want a quartz flask with immune to freeze, and then possibly increased duration or gain 3 charges when you're hit by an enemy. Increased evasion on a jade, or increased armor, or freeze immune. And then you can do increased duration or gain 3 charges when you're hit by an enemy, like this, increased duration. And then you have a Granite Flask with increased armor, and you could do increased duration or gain charges when you're hit by an enemy. And then I just did a Quicksilver with increased duration, because Quicksilver move speed is like one of the most valuable things you can do early, honestly. And then increased duration just to make it last longer, because it feels so good moving 40% faster, or having 40% increased move speed. Technically, it's not 40% faster if you have tons of move speed. Yeah, but when you have none and you get 40%, holy shit, it's huge. And then having it up all the time, or having it up more, massive. My final thoughts for the build are, you're probably wondering, what do you scale this into? What do you transition into? What do you play? What is the budget build? What do you invest in? What should you play? Honestly, there's so many good options, and this is going to get us so far, and is going to do so well. And what we actually do in Trade League after is kind of going to depend on the new items, the new mods, the new and the prices, because I'll tell you something very important to everyone. Listen carefully. This is not a normal game. This is not a normal economy. This is a player-driven economy, player-based game. So basically, what I'm saying is, if everybody is going for the same thing, it doesn't matter that it was common or whatever. It's just literally like we are the market, and so we decide what the prices are. Therefore, if everyone is going one build, then that one is really expensive. So some of the outliers are obvious. Those new unique buffs and then any of the minions that have uniques that got, like, any of the minions that got buffed that have uniques, like Soul Rest, the Maw of Mischief, the Monogruels, the Clay Shaper, the Golem Jewels. There's going to be all these, like, side things that get hit and go up in price and are more targeted and are more sought after just because of what people are looking at. And so my final thoughts are that we can't really know exactly what we're going to be going into, but we do know that those builds that I've been looking at all look really good, and there's still actually a couple that I didn't even get to, like Flame Golems, Chaos Golem. There's other builds, Poison. There's potential, just that some of the stuff is more viable earlier than we thought because of like how powerful the Kalandra League is, with the reflecting the amulet getting a +3 zombie, for example. There's like weird stuff like that. There could even be new mods that we didn't know, and that enables new builds that we literally couldn't plan right now. So rather than baiting you basically and telling you this is my thing and then it's screwed up because of me saying it and it make everyone go the same thing, I can't actually say fully what I'm going, but I have put out like generally what I would go if it was cheap, but I have some bad feelings about some of this stuff. So basically I've tried to set us up as well as possible off of literally nothing. This is what they're trying to get us away from. They want us to be gear dependent, and I'm still pumping out some nice content, so I hope you guys appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a good league start, and I hope you guys get farmed up and get situated to where you're ready to switch into anything you want, because the start was so good. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this League Start build guide. I hope you enjoyed the leveling guide. I hope you enjoyed the practice build that happened to be very similar to what I ended up posting as my actual build. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for support. And if you guys made it to this part in the video, leave a comment of more recommendations of builds you want to see. Maybe some budget builds you think will fly under the radar, be cheap, be insane. Don't get them too popular, guys. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode, which is basically like League Start. We'll have like, we still have like the filter, and we still have the Atlas passive tree. Like, guys, what do I target on the Atlas passive tree? I don't know what league mechanic to do. Last time I was like, yo, Essence is great, and then Arch Nemesis rework, and now they just did it again. So is like Essence, Beast, and the other one off the mark completely. Like, you don't touch them. Their death. What about Metamorph? Are you going to get actually rewarded for all those different Metamorph mods on it, which are Arch Nemesis mods? And is Metamorph going to be more rewarding than ever? I have no idea, dude. Either way, I'll see you guys in the next episode. And see you at League Start. I will be streaming the League Start, of course.